What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Pisces sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of February 19th and March 20th and you are a Pisces sun sign, and this reading is for you. Alright, in today's reading we're going to do a month ahead spread for July for all my Pisces sun signs, and this spread's going to tell us what past, present, and future energies you're likely to experience in the month ahead. What you should hold on to and let go of in July, and also like what kind of obstacles and lessons you're expected to learn in the month of July. So it's going to be an eye-opening spread, at least I hope so. Today we're going to be using the Super 8-Bit Tarot. This is a tarot deck based on 80s video games, the 8-bit games of yore, and it's a fun, light-hearted deck that still packs a punch. If you want to learn more about this deck, then you can watch the deck review I did on my channel of this deck. But now at this time I would like to center myself and ask the tarot cards a question. What do Pisces sun signs expect in the month of July? That should do it. We'll cut the deck. All right. Alright, very good. And while we're at it, we'll ask the Nature's Whispers Oracle what message it has for Pisces sun signs in the month of July as well. Alright, we'll take a look at that card at the end. Alright, turning our attention to the tarot spread, we've got a couple major arcana. Nothing too major, but there's a few there. See a lot of swords energy, some wands energy, and a little bit of cups energy. So we got a nice mixture of stuff here. Let's take a look at what these cards mean individually. The first card we're going to look at is this one here, and it represents the energies of June, the energies of last month. And we have the Ace of Swords, or sorry, the Ace of Wands. This card is telling me that the month of June was the time for new projects and a new energy that's facilitated some new actions. And you know, this is a general overall reading, so it's going to apply to different people, different Pisces in different ways, but for the most part I'm getting the sense that in June a lot of you experienced this new energy coming in, and that took the form of some new action that you could take. So some new energy coming in that, you know, facilitated more movement. When you think of the wands, you think of movement, you think of fiery energy, and that's the sense I'm getting for the month of June for you guys, that there was probably some maybe a new job that required you to do new things, or maybe you took on a new hobby that you know, made you go to new places. So yes, I'm getting a nice sense here of some new energy coming in. Very good. It seems like June was a month for new discoveries, and maybe this could even signal new intuitive ideas or intuitive expansion in a new way. So yeah, a very good month for you guys as far as creation. Now we're moving into the present. This card represents the present energies, and we've got the Magician. And this continues the theme of the wand. Look, you see the similarities in the wands here. The Magician is all about creation and manifestation and creating what you want. So it seems to me like now is a time that you guys are taking that new energy that you experienced in June, and you're using it to make a new aspect of life, and you're bringing in that new energy to facilitate. How many times can I use the word facilitate? But that's just what's coming up right now, is you're using that new wand energy to create a new aspect of life that has never been seen before. or not for a while at least. And yes, I'm getting the feeling that you guys are being very creative. You're manifesting right now. And you got to keep in mind that the thoughts you're thinking now, the feelings that you're feeling now, are creating your future. And so be very cognizant of what kind of future you do want to create. But it looks as though to me that you're using that new energy that came up in June to create now, and it's forming into something tangible, right? Or will at least very soon. This card here represents the future so it's the energies of next month, the energies of July. We've got the Seven of Swords. I'm getting the feeling of deception, of not being true to yourself or others. And yes, in the month of July, I'm getting a feeling of errant ego thoughts and maybe lying, maybe manipulating. And it's hard to say whether this is going to be you doing the lying and manipulating, or if you're going to be the one being lied and manipulated too. It's going to probably fall on both sides to different people who are watching this. So I hate to make any predictions based on that, but yes, I'm feeling as though that there's going to be some hidden truths that might be coming out in the month of July, that lies being exposed, maybe some disappointment as a result of that. So a little bit of negative energy coming through in July. Not to say the month as a whole is going to be a negative time, but I think there's going to be some challenges in July of truths coming out. Maybe your lies being exposed, or someone who's lied to you being exposed. And it's going to be something that's going to take you a little bit off that track that you were started on in the last month. So definitely we'll see what the other cards around this have to say about it, but we will see. All right, so this card here represents what you should hold on to for the month of July. We've got the Ten of Swords. Very interesting. All right, so this card is telling me that you guys need to realize or accept that your errant ego thoughts, it's time for them to come to an end. If you guys are starting at this new cycle that I'm getting the sense of from the Magician and from the Ace of Wands, you're starting something new. If you want to go forward in a productive way with that, you're going to have to end the cycle of negativity that kind of preceded it. And what I mean by that is not just the lying and the deceiving, but the negative thoughts. And these are ego thoughts of fear and doubt and worry, and just these negative thoughts that kind of swirl around and make up your existence, make up who you are. And so many of us do this unconsciously, where we're just unconsciously seeing things in a negative way. And if you want to create from a pure place for the future, then you're gonna have to kind of get rid of those. Let those come to an end. Let those, don't look down on yourself for feeling that way or thinking that way, but really be conscious and cognizant that is what you do sometimes, so that you can really change that and move forward into the future in a more productive way with more positivity in mind. So yes, what you should hold on to is the willingness to let go of that sort of thing. Okay, this card here represents your biggest obstacles in the month of July. We've got the Queen of Wands. Okay, I think your biggest obstacle is going to be figuring out what to do next, how to proceed in a way that's going to be beneficial for both to you and to the people in your life. And I think I see a connection here between the Seven of Swords. Maybe whatever dark thing comes to light in the month of July is going to put a kind of a halt, not a halt, but it's going to confuse, but it's going to put a wrench into the works, okay, is what I want to say, of your path. And you're going to be kind of unsure of which way to proceed. That's going to be beneficial, and it's going to be from a place of love, because that's the way you want to proceed. I mean, Pisces, you guys are filled with love. You're a water sign. You're concerned about emotions, and you want everyone to be happy, including yourself. But it's going to be hard to do that when this lying comes up. And like I said, it's not necessarily you lying. You could be lied to. So when that comes up, you're going to find it difficult. You're going to find it difficult to progress forward in a clear way that's beneficial to everyone. So that's going to be your obstacle, is figuring out how to get past this lying or manipulation, or this dark energy that's going to be exposed in the month of July. So keep that in mind as you progress, and maybe we can find a way around that. This is what to let go of in the month of July, and we have the Tower. This card is telling me that you need to let go of, I'm seeing an event here. I'm seeing July, something happening. and it's going to be perceived as negative. And this card is saying you need to let go of the urge to allow that event, to allow that negative thing that happens to gain control of your life. And so often, so many of us, we will experience some negative thing, we'll allow it to derail us just because of the way we perceive it, just by the way we respond to it. We perceive it negatively, we respond to it negatively. Therefore, that event has to be negative because that's the way we feel about it. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you see that negative situation, whatever happens in July, if you see that negative event as something that is positive, if you look at it from a positive perspective and find the positivity in it and really focus in on that positivity, then that is what that event will become. You'll find the lesson that's in there, that's hidden, that you need to learn. And that's the reason why it was placed on your path, because you needed to learn a lesson. And if you're more focused on the lesson rather than on the setbacks that might occur because of it, then you will find the value in that event, and it won't be so negative in your life. It won't take you off track. So that is what you need to let go of. Okay, let go of the urge to allow a negative event to affect you negatively. Okay, or what you perceive as a negative event. All events are neutral. All right, this card here represents the energies of the people around you. We've got the Five of Cups, and now this card is generally speaking as a whole. Individuals in your life are not going to be this way necessarily, but as a whole, I think the people in your life are going to be kind of how do I say this politely? They're going to kind of bring you down a little bit. These people, for the most part, are going to be focused on kind of the negative aspects of things, just like we talked about with the Tower. And so they're going to be taking you on this path. They're going to be taking you towards this path when you want to be away from it. So I would say possibly try to, maybe go solo as much as you can on this month just to protect your energy. Of course, we all need people in our lives, and I'm saying find a hole and crawl into it, but don't let the energy of others affect you, especially if you perceive them to be negative. It's so easy for them to rub off on us, and especially onto Pisces. You guys are empaths, and you feel for other people. So if your friends or family are feeling negative, you guys are going to pick up on that. You might even allow it to enter into your mode of thinking. So, if you look at this card, there's 3 spilled cups and there's 2 cups that are just fine. And this person is focused on the spilled cups. That's not what we want. We want to be focused on the positive aspects. We want to be focused on the cups that we still have rather than crying over the spilled milk. And it's just a way of thinking. And you don't want to adopt this way of thinking, because then you will perceive these Tower events as negative, and you'll respond to them emotionally in a negative emotional way rather than seeing the benefit of them, as I just talked about. So yeah, if you feel people around you bringing you down, just go into nature, go by yourself, go do something by yourself, and try to avoid that mode of thinking, because it's not going to help you. Okay, this last card here represents the biggest lesson that Pisces friends are likely to learn in the month of July, and we have Judgment. All right, what is this card telling us? This card is telling me that the biggest lesson that you have to learn is that you must have faith that a change is coming. Faith is the kind of the word I'm getting here. Judgment is about rebirth. It's about ending a cycle and rising again anew. And I'm getting the feeling that this new cycle is starting, and something is going to happen along the way to kind of take you off of that. And the lesson that you have to learn is that no matter what happens in your life, you're still headed towards your dreams. You just may have felt a setback that might cost you some time or some energy or some emotion. But don't let it affect you so negatively, because we're all headed towards this judgment, towards this rebirth. And if you keep your eyes on the prize, if you don't get distracted, then it will come sooner rather than later, and you will be basking in its glory. But yes, some bad things may happen, but don't let it bring you down. That's the lesson that I'm getting for the month of July. So now that we've seen all the cards together, let's get an overview of what is going on in the lives of Pisces. And I'm getting the feeling that some new energy is coming in the last month, and now we get some new energies. You guys are feeling ready to manifest, ready to create the life that you want, and you're ready to do some good in this world, and you're ready to start something new and kind of start in on a new phase of life. But I'm getting the sense of that in July, something will happen to kind of set you back. And this is kind of the discovery of some negative aspect, some untruth being revealed, or someone, maybe even someone stealing from you, whether it's thoughts or, emotions or even physical objects. Some sort of theft or some negative thing being exposed is the gist I'm getting from July. So some event in July may occur to bring you down a little bit. The way we're going to combat that is to realize that this is just the end of a cycle, and you're basically what you're doing now is, since you're starting anew, it's time to kind of shed that old way and shed that old way of thinking. What's being asked of you, Pisces, is that now that you're starting this new cycle, you need to shift the way you used to think into a new, more positive way, because that's the way that you're headed, and you don't want to dwell on this negativity. So this card is asking you to release that, to release the old ways of thinking so that you can start anew. Your biggest hurdle is going to be finding the right actions to take in this mess of July. And not to say that the whole month is going to be a mess. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just being real here. I feel definitely that some bad event will take place. And again, it's not a bad in the sense that it's going to ruin you. It's just bad in the sense that it's going to challenge you. And in order to get past that challenge, you're going to have to look at it in a positive way. And like I said before, the way you look at it dictates to what it is. So if you want this event to be positive, look at the positive aspects of it. There's positives in everything, everything. There's a positive side to it that is equal to the negative side. Equal. So just because you only choose to see the negative side of something doesn't mean there's an equal and opposite positive side to it, okay? It's all about your perception. Now, the people around you, they're probably going to be a little bit more negative. They're slanted toward the negative aspects of things. They're kind of focused on the negativity. So your friends and family, your closest ones, may not be the most beneficial people to be around in this time that you're going to need help. You're going to need support. So really pick and choose. Be very careful about who you choose for advice and for support, just to make sure that you're not taking on some negative energy, okay? And then the biggest lesson is we're gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry. You're headed towards a rebirth. It's just there's a little hiccup, a little bump in the road that is going to teach you a lesson that you need to know in order to reach that judgment, in order to reach that rebirth. So it's just a little bump in the road. Don't get too concerned about it. Everything's going to be fine. And just keep that energy, the energy that everything will be fine and you will be fine. All right. Now, before we go, let's we asked the Nature's Whispers Oracle what message it had for you in the month of July, and that message is laughter. How are we going to get through tough times? Through laughter. How are you going to see negative, or how are you going to see things that you perceive as negative in a positive way? Laughter. Let's laugh about it. Laugh at anytime you feel discouraged. Laugh. If you don't have a reason to laugh, make one. And laughter is what keeps you young, it keeps you innocent, it keeps you happy, it keeps you positive. It's laughter. And just laugh it off. If this negative event in your life really is bringing you down, find a reason to laugh at it. Okay, laugh at yourself. It's okay to smile about all these hardships, because in retrospect, you're not even gonna you're gonna remember these times with fondness. Okay, no matter how difficult they may seem now. And so laugh it off and allow laughter into your life, and your life will be just full of more light, basically. Okay, so I hope you guys got something out of that and liked it. If you want to get a reading tailored specifically for you, head on over to my Etsy shop. The link is in the description and in the card, so you can go over there, check that out. I've got a bunch of readings, including this one, if you want to have this reading tailored especially for you for the month ahead. And yeah, so please go check that out. If you like this video or you got something out of it, be sure to give it a like. That lets me know that I'm doing something right. And if you have anything to say or you have any questions about it, go ahead and put the comment in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you really like this video, please consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on all these videos. I release them pretty regularly. Alright guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. I can't say enough, and thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.